Or turn your rifle.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2025 USA Shooting National Championships for Trap, coming to you live from the John A. Halter Shooting Sports Education Center in Hillsdale College. My name is Fran Jacobs and I'm here with Jordan Sapp, a decorated U.S. shooting skeet athlete who also competes with the Hillsdale College shotgun team. First up with our women's final, this will be determine the 2025 Women's Trap National Champion. The men's final will start shortly after at 4:45. This competition isn't just about national titles, it's also a selection match. This 2025 ISSF World Championship team was decided at this match. The World Championships have also been determined. 3 of our athletes will travel later this fall to Athens, Greece. They are Rachel Tozier, Ava Downs, and Carrie Garrison. In addition to the 2025 Junior Am Pan American Games, was nominated through the scores from this match. The athletes being nominated for the team are Caleb Horenick, Tony Miola, Carrie Garrison, and Ava Downs. They'll be headed to Paraguay later this August. And finally, 6 athletes will earn spots on the U.S. National Shotgun Team. Another 6 will be named to the Junior National Team. Stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting day of high-stakes shooting. We're ready to get going. Shortly, Jack Birch, our chief jury, is going to invite the athletes out to the field for introductions. As we get started, maybe just a brief introduction by Jordan Sapp.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about today?
Oh, it's great. It's lovely to be out here, especially the weather's gotten a lot better today. Past couple of days, it's been windy and overcast, really dark, hard to see the target, especially coming outside of the house.
How's that affect some of our targets?
As a skeet shooter, it's harder to pick up on it as quick as everybody else. But I know in bunker, I've been talking to a lot of other people. I've been loading them in between, and they say that it's hard to find the right lens, and it really has to be perfect lens for that day and that lighting. And a lot of them, as you see, some of our athletes, they have an extra pair of lenses on their hat just for in case the lighting changes.
Okay, let's give Jack his time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2025 USA Shooting National Championships Open Women Trap Final. In bib number 1, 2024 Paris Olympian Ryan Phillips. With bib number 2, USA National Team member Loretta Christian. Bib number 3, 2025 Junior Cat Silver Medalist Ava Downs. Bib number 4, Paris 2024 Olympian Rachel Tozier. Bib number 5, 2025 Junior Cat Gold Medalist and 2025 World Cup in Buenos Aires, Carrie Garrison. With bib number 6, National Team member Aiko Colasso. The jury member in charge is yours truly, Jack Birch. The referee in charge is Rob Klotz. Good luck, ladies.
Jordan, can you talk to us about the first set of targets? What are we going to see here? What are we going to experience?
Right, so every shooter is going to get 2 lefts, 1 straightaway, and then 2 rights. And it's just going to, once you get that first straightaway, you won't get it for the rest of the round, only on that station.
Okay. And this first stage is how many targets?
First stage is 25 targets, and then we'll get our first elimination. And then after that, we'll do a series of 5 targets until we eliminate up to the last 2 shooters, which then will determine the gold medal, and we'll shoot 10 final targets.
And do they get full use of the gun? We've got 2 barrels here.
No, they only get 1 shot now. In all of their 250 targets of qualification, they were able to use their second barrel.
Okay.
But now they've got to resort back to 1.
Okay. So we're beginning to see some orange flash.
Oh, it's beautiful. This is what you look forward to after 4 days of long competing. Some very well-decorated athletes out here, too. A lot of them very experienced, been all around the world.
How long do you think most of them have been training and playing and learning this game?
Oh, I would say at least 6 or 7 years, somewhere in between then. I know Carrie has been shooting for a while.
Light seems different from much earlier in the week.
Right.
Really bright. Not a cloud in the sky today.
Yeah, it's actually beautiful looking at all these targets now, you know. Especially with that dark green background, those trees, the target really just pops. So for the whole 250 target match, would you say that it's more of a marathon than a race?
Absolutely, and this tournament, truth be told, is, while we've been here for 250 targets, there's a carryover tournament from earlier this year in West Palm Beach,
right,
where the first leg, also 250 targets.
So what kind of mindset would you like to have going into a bunker final, where this determines the national team?
One target at a time, kind of finishing up with the 250 targets. There's definitely a fear of running out of targets begins to creep in.
Right.
As you've shot your first 125, you're coming back for the second 2 days, 75 and 50 targets. And as you begin to run out of targets, a fear creeps in.
Yep.
And you've got to respect each target.
That's right. It's the same way in Skeet.
Really, it's just one target at a time. While everybody can see their scores, the athletes know where they're standing.
Would you like to know your score as you're going through it? That's always been a controversial thought.
Personally, as a competitor, I want one target at a time.
Yep. It's hard to not notice the score when it's up on a bright board, though. Sometimes, you know. Oh, you got something going on. Is it?
A little concern with one of the side refs.
It was a dead target. All right.
Okay, so we might not see the full flash, but if they hit the target and there's just a little piece,
Yep.
is there a difference between dust and flash?
Yes, yeah. Flash counts in a final, but dust does not. I've had to learn that the hard way a couple times.
And what color might that dust be?
The dust could be white. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just right off the top of that target. And it means that you hit it, but just not hard enough.
You need to see that bright orange flash.
I think it was a good kind of like rule change because there was a little bit kind of leeway in both sides to where it's kind of hard to find out if it was really dust or the flash, or sometimes like you could dust it but you didn't see it in the clouds, you know, so some people would get some wouldn't. I think it makes it a much more even playing field.
Yep. So they're working on their first pass here. We got Ryan with a single target. We got Loretta Christian with 3. Ava Downs with 3 of them. Rachel Tozier with a single. Carrie Garrison, who's got 4 straight. Aiko's got a single also.
Yeah, these first 5 targets, I mean, the first elimination is after 25,
After
so
25,
it's better to
yep.
just get settled in as quick as possible. I feel like that's just the best way to play these finals.
So as a competitor, are there butterflies? Is there adrenaline going through your system?
Oh, 100%. I handle pressure a little bit differently than everybody else. Yeah, it's usually early in the mornings, but once I fire that first shot and I kind of get settled in, it's a lot better. The adrenaline will definitely get to you.
Any tournament or shoot-off training that you could do at home?
Ooh, I know I've got to work on some. I lost 2 of my shoot-offs this just recently. But I believe that the best way for doing the shoot-offs is to grab someone else that's either just at the same level as you, or I mean, it doesn't really matter who you're shooting off against because you wouldn't want to lose to anybody
Guy,
else.
gal, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're heading into your senior year.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter whether they're 20, 21, or 31.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Just bring some good competition.
Yep. I know sometimes, a couple times in the past, actually, Ava and I have done a bunker shoot-off just because. And I mean, I'll be shooting my gun just for fun. You know, I love shooting bunker. I think it's great, and it just like gives her a little competition to where like it's really just about the timing for her, having someone shoot in front or like have someone shoot behind, and I bet you that she wouldn't want to lose to me just as bad as she wouldn't want to lose to anybody else out there on the field.
Heavens forbid she loses to a Skeeter.
Right.
Right, so you've seen the first pass. You can see the athletes shooting once at these stations, and they're transitioning to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then they loop around to station 6. Wait for a second, and then step back into station 1. You may see a clock out there on our screen. Each of these athletes has 12 seconds.
12 seems like a lot, but it really isn't when you're in that box. We get 30. That's still, we eat all that up too. Could you tell us a little bit about the penalty for going over on the time?
Okay, so if you're awarded 12 seconds, and if you are over, you will be quickly receive a yellow card, a warning, just a warning. Make sure that you get yourself back within those 12 seconds. Heavens forbid there is a second yellow, a green card would be issued, a deduction.
Yep, that's the scary part.
How are we doing score-wise?
Well, we've got Ryan Phillips with 3 total targets, Loretta Christian with 6, followed by Ava Downs, was also 6. Rachel Tozier with 3 targets. Carrie Garrison with 6, and Aiko with 3. So even though that there's been a lot of red on the board, there's a little bit of kind of grouping that I see so far. Loretta, Ava, and Carrie all very tight, in that for 3, which is a great spot to be in. And right now, I can only imagine what is going through the heads of the other competitors.
So each of these athletes also have a bib on their back.
Yep.
Right, 1 through 6. If there's a tie at the end between the 5th and 6th athlete, who gets dropped?
Is this after the first
After
elimination?
the first 25, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this would be the
What's the
lower
importance
bib.
what's the importance of the bibs?
So the bib is what kind of keeps you in when you're tied with someone. It's always better to have the first or highest bib because for the first elimination, let's just say, for example, Ryan and Carrie tie with a 25 out of 25. Let's just say like that works, right? The lowest bib would get bumped out, even though they shot just as good as the other person, but their qualification was what set them apart.
Okay. I understand that there were 2 shoot-offs for bib. So, half hour ago, there was a shoot-off for bibs.
Yep.
Between 3 and 4, between Ava and Rachel, and between Carrie and Aiko. So they were tied after this week's qualification scores.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Okay, after 10 targets.
Yep.
10 targets, we've got Rachel with 4. We've got Loretta with 8. We've got Ava with 7. Rachel with 3. We've got Carrie with 6 and Aiko with 5. Came on strong in that second pass.
Yep, and this is the first time that we see a solo lead with 8 targets by Loretta.
Loretta, I believe, does most of her training back in Arizona.
Yes, sir. Loretta actually doesn't live too far from me.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. So we've got some flankers out here who also have a remote to communicate with the head ref. Hits and misses. You might see some red or green flashes out near the trap field.
So a lot of what the viewers can't look at right now is how windy it is. There's a little bit of wind coming from our left, moving these targets just a little bit. How would you say the wind affects them really out here?
Oh my gosh, if it's coming from our left, those targets that are flying to our left, out of these right-hand machines, they're going to be much higher than normal.
Yep.
Much higher. Where the targets could be thrown between 1.5 and 3 meters. That 3-meter target. Uh-oh. We've got an issue here
It's
with
up
Aiko.
in the sky.
Yeah. Okay, Aiko's getting a fresh 12 seconds. Yeah, so with what could be should be a 3-meter target into the wind like that, could easily be 4.5.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of targets jumping out here?
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Wow, so Loretta's really pulling ahead. 10 targets. In second right now with 8 is I've got Ava Downs. And we've got several of these athletes with 5 and 6 targets. Carrie with 6. Rachel with 6. Aiko with 5. And Ryan Phillips with 5.
Loretta is starting off strong. Carrie Garrison had a strong start. She right now fell down 6 of the last targets, so hopefully she'll get back up on her feet.
She's one of those athletes who've been here since she was 12 or 13 years old. She's been at this game a long time.
I couldn't hold a gun when I was 12 years old.
Are you familiar with some of the development programs that might be out there for these kiddos at home as you're learning the game?
Yeah, so like the junior
program.
Yeah, so the junior program, there's the JODC camp that I'm actually going to be coaching. It's June 13th to the 17th. Really excited for that. I was a part of that. Like, I've done the JODC when it was back in Colorado. Lots of different training camps, and that's how I know most of these people. I mean, Loretta and I have been we were on the SETP team a long time ago. I couldn't even remember when it was.
Where are the Junior Olympic development camps held?
Hillsdale, Michigan. Yep. It just at the Halter Center.
Okay.
Yep.
How many kids might attend?
Made the tent.
How many children might attend? How many youngsters might attend?
I would say it's a lot more popular within Bunker. I know they have 2 skeet coaches. It's going to be myself and Caitlin Connor. And then they've got, I think, 3 or 4 for Bunker. I would say about 20 Bunker shooters and 10 skeet shooters.
Wow. All over the country.
Yes, sir.
Coming into Hillsdale.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
It's great. I love seeing the younger kids kind of get up into it because it kind of like reminds me and like puts my thought like where was I at, or my same thoughts when I was their age.
Okay, finishing our third pass. Gosh, Loretta's out there with 12. We've got Ava Downs with 10. We've got Aiko with 8. We've got Carrie Garrison with 8. And right now, Ryan Phillips, 5th with 7.
Now, I love these finals because it gets very interesting when it starts getting down to the last 5 targets. You'll see people start shaking a little bit more, not visibly, but you could tell that it's affected them just a little bit. But then the game starts playing. Is you have 1 target on 1 person, or you have 2, and you have a bib. So then technically you have 3 targets on. It kind of builds differently.
Jordan, you've done some travel around the world. Where's this game taken you?
We'll see. I've gone to South Korea. I've been to Germany, Italy, Croatia, Peru, the Dominican Republic, and I believe that's it.
Peru? Did I hear Peru?
Yes, sir.
You've been to Peru.
Yeah, I've been there 3 times now. Very beautiful.
Somewhere in your resume, something special happened in Porpetto, Italy.
Yep. That was probably my favorite shoot by far.
What happened in Porpetto, Italy?
Well, I set a junior world record of a perfect 125 out of 125 targets.
Nice.
It was just a great feeling, and I wish I could kind of go back there and relive that moment because it was just amazing. And you actually reffed my last round. I remember that.
Yes, I did.
Looks like we have a little stoppage here.
Okay, so if there's any question as to the referee's call, the side flankers can stop the game and indicate that they saw a broken target. They might have seen the flash. So I understand that there is a question or comment button if there's anything out there that our viewers might enjoy asking. If we've got time, we'll definitely get to them. Time permitting.
Yeah, that'd be great. Ask away. It looks like we have a scoreboard discrepancy. I think Carrie hit that last target, and it was marked as a miss, so they're trying to redo that.
Okay, so we've got our jury ready to come over to the systems, getting that fixed for us.
All right, looks like we're back on track. Yeah, so that target was marked as a miss for Carrie.
So one of the side flankers must have said, no.
It was a hit.
Athlete hit it.
Yep, that's why it's so important to have flankers out there. So these targets are going away from you so fast. I mean, it's hard for just one person to see it.
Yeah, these targets are moving at 60 to 63 miles an hour. Anywhere from 1.5 meters to 3 meters, up to 45 degrees an angle.
So if you were the head referee in this final, what are you looking for on these shooters?
Wow, the shooters themselves. So, as the game's being played, my eyes are on the targets, listening for their call, making sure that they've got a clear legal target that presents properly.
Are you looking for any like foot faults or?
Eyes are. We've watched these athletes for the last 250 targets. So
Right.
We know their mannerisms, we know their cadence, we know their tempo, we know their style, we know where they're stepping in and playing the game. Right, there's a little dance some of them might have, a little move, a shuffle left to right.
Yep. What would you say is the most common kind of rule breaking that they have out in their finals?
So the time violation is there's no wiggle room. You have 12 seconds. And
Right.
at this level, at this match, if there's a 12-second violation, you will immediately earn yourself a yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so as referees, we're out there helping, keep the game fair, keeping the athletes, protecting the athletes from themselves, from their competitors, right, so that they each get a fair shot at these targets.
Right. Especially when you get in these opens.
Oh, did you see that jump? Boy, that target
Yeah. That was just
jumped
midair,
2 or
right? As
3
soon as it was
feet.
right on the tree line, too.
2 or 3 feet that wind moved that target.
I'm sure when you get into these open squads, like especially in finals, no one's really going to be pushing the rules that far to call anything out. They've practiced it and they've got it down perfect.
They don't. Their game is 110% focused on their targets.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're finishing our 4th pass. We got Loretta up there with 14. We've got Ava Downs right behind her with a 13. Rachel's at 12.
Rachel really came back the last 10 targets, shooting
Really
9
strong.
out of the last 10.
Struggled those first 2 passes. That's our first clean pass.
Loretta had a clean pass, her second.
Oh, good eyes.
Her second pass. But besides that, yeah, those are the only 2 right now.
Okay, Carrie Garrison with 11. Aiko with a 12. Okay, so Ryan has a little catch-up. This is our final pass.
And because Ryan has that bib number on, it could either be Rachel, Carrie, or Aiko, she will need them to drop at least 2 targets and to tie them, to bump them out or beat them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 15, 14, 13, and a 12.
Ryan's really going to need to hit these
Ryan
here.
needs some help. Ryan needs some help. Storied athlete. Was on that Paris Olympic team.
Yep.
Neat family from Texas.
Yeah, Ryan's a great shooter. She's been shooting great for the past, I don't know how long, but I know this last 4 years were amazing for her. Getting on the Olympic team is
Olympic
nothing
team,
easy.
I think a World Cup gold, if I remember correctly. Okay, 3 targets left in this pass. I'm going to drop our 6th place athlete. Boy, that wind is doing something
Yeah.
with these targets.
You just like you were saying.
These are all-star athletes.
Those left those left targets are really jumping up in the air.
Yes, they are. That was easily a 4-meter target. Rachel Tozier, member of our AMU team. I understand that one of our team members recently joined one of our academies.
Yeah, so Aiko just joined the, she's just the recent addition to the Air Force shotgun team, which I've known them for quite a while actually now, because in Colorado Springs, Mark and I remember Mark, Joe, and there was one other that was on the Skeet team actually. Yeah. So I went and I had dinner with them. I was shooting with them a lot, and now they swapped over to bunker. But it's good to see their faces again, and Aiko is going to a great spot.
Great opportunity for her. Actually, when I saw her this morning in her new blue jacket, I said, "Oh my gosh, is this new?"
It's for real now?
And the biggest smile. She had the biggest smile.
Oh, that's great.
So excited to join the Air Force team.
She's a great person, too. She's always got a smile on her face.
Okay, this is the last target of the first stage. Got Ryan with a 10. That is going to be our 6th place finisher today.
Loretta really hit the ground running, starting with 18 out of her first 25.
Strong. That is single barrel. Strong showing. Our referee Rob Klaus is from the Sacramento area. He's done some international travel recently. Was invited to Italy not too long ago.
Love Italy. Looks like we'll be congratulating our 6th place finisher, Ryan Phillips.
Okay, so Jack Birch is going to take over momentarily. So logistically, the referee's just making sure that the scores look right before the announcements. That board has got to be right. You saw about halfway through that there was a concern with one of the targets.
Yep. Yeah, and every flanker knows that in between the rounds that if there's something wrong with the board, to get it done as soon as possible, because I could only imagine having to go back from this point.
Yeah. That's caught pretty quick. That's typically caught pretty quickly. You've got.
Please congratulate our 6th place winner, Ryan Phillips. Leading the ladies with 18 is Loretta Christian. In 2nd place is Aiko Colosso with 16, and a 3-way tie, Ava Downs, Rachel Tozier, and Carrie Garrison. 5 more targets to the next elimination.
Boy, just walking in front of our booth here is a youngster who must have won a junior medal.
That's awesome.
How old do you think that young man is? 10, 11-ish?
Yeah, I would say about 10 or 11.
That's great.
Big smile on his face.
The biggest ear-to-ear grin.
So we got a question that just came in. It says, can the shooters see those green and red squares after their shot?
Can the green and red squares?
I believe they're talking about on the board. Either the board or down there in front of them with
so so there are 2 sets. Yeah, so why don't you take the scoreboard question?
Yeah, so the scoreboard question, it's totally up to the shooters whether they want to see it or not, but it's totally visible from any station that they're at. And yeah, as we saw earlier, Carrie called out saying that the target that was put down as a miss, she hit. And so it wasn't really a question of if she hit it, it was just a board kind of mix-up.
So if the side referees didn't see it and Carrie did, what would she do? How would she get the referee's attention?
She would have to stop, raise her hand immediately. You don't want to wait any bit further, because after that, then it's fair game. It's kind of given up. But yeah, as soon as you have a question about something, and it's better just to raise your hand just in case, and to always.
So as an athlete, can you hear the horn? If you dropped a target, can you hear the horn, the honker?
Yeah, you could hear it. It's not a great sound. One I try not to get used to.
Yeah. So if that question's referring to the green and red blinkers that are on the field, yes, that's right in front of them, and those are being worked by our flankers.
What a great first 2 shots from each athlete, as they've all been perfect so far.
They're clean. This is good to see.
This is where that bib number really starts to kick in, because even though Aiko has 1 target on Ava, Rachel, and Carrie, if she drops one and they gain a target on her, she'll be bibbed out.
Yeah, so those 17s are at risk right now. Yeah, so Loretta's still leading the bunch with 21. We've got 3 with 18.
Oh, and there's a miss by Aiko. That brings everything within a target.
All 4 tied at 18.
There's only 2 more targets left before our next elimination.
Rachel's experience is really coming through. She's done a lot of international travel.
Yeah, she was definitely able to come back from that rough start and really pull it together.
Experience is showing. MU's got a great program.
It's amazing.
Great team. Okay, last target of this second stage.
Ava's really going to need to hit this one and pray for anybody else to miss. Here we go. If any of these next 3 athletes miss, they will be the one going out. Oh, missed by Rachel. Oh, and a miss by Carrie.
Okay, so after this second stage, we've got 3 tied with 3, so we've got 3 bibs who are tied.
Yeah, this doesn't happen very often, but this is where the bibs really come into play.
Looks like Carrie Garrison with a ton of experience. She'll be
Please
back.
congratulate our 5th place winner, Carrie Garrison.
She has decades more
Loretta
to play in this game.
Christian leads with 22, and Aiko Colasso at 20, and then a 2-way tie at 19, Ava and Rachel. 5 more targets.
So 5 more targets will decide 4th place. Okay, the referee Rob is now starting Loretta.
I wonder how different it feels when in bunker when the first person, I guess if you're the second shooter and the first person goes out and then you're now starting to lead each pass. Does that kind of change anything within the mindset?
Is it going to change anything? I don't know that it's going to change anything per se. You just got to bring it, right? One target at a time. When it's your turn, you're ready to go.
Yep.
You're ready to go. All right, everybody's clean. Their first shot through. Loretta had a strong week. It's great to see her.
She shot great. Yep. She's a great person as well. I love talking to her.
Away from the game, if I've heard correctly, she does a lot of hiking.
Yep.
Hundreds of miles of hiking.
Hundreds. Yeah, she loves it. I see on her Instagram all the time, and when I was in Peru, I was talking to her about it, and she just got done with some trip, and the way she was telling me about it, I mean, she almost got me roped into it, the way she was explaining it. And I don't run or walk as much as I can. You know, I'll drive anywhere.
Okay.
So right now, in Ava's position, if she hit the next target, she would secure her spot. She just needs to hit one of these last two.
Okay. There she is. Okay, so after the next few targets, our podium will be set. We'll know who's going to walk away with the gold, silver, bronze here, first, second, third.
With
these
Aiko,
finals.
With Aiko just hitting that last target, it solidifies her into the next stage. .27 by Loretta. That's some great shooting.
Strong. Okay, so Rachel's got a three-shot lead here. 27. Two-shot lead. We've got Ava with a 25. Aiko with a 25. Got Ava with 24. Looks like Rachel Tozier's going to secure fourth. Making AU very proud. AMU very proud.
Please congratulate our fourth place winner, Rachel Tozier. Loretta leads with 27, Aiko with 25, Ava Downs with 23, and 5 more targets.
Rachel's walking right behind us, giving us 2 thumbs up. Well, if these are some of the ladies that are going to carry USA shooting forward for the next many years, our team's in good hands.
Great hands. Every single one of them. I love seeing each time. That's why I stay for the bunker shoots when I'm out here. All of them are great to catch up with and great to talk to.
The bench is deep.
Yeah.
Pushing and challenging. All of those have come before us. As is our Skeet team.
Skeet team's great. I traveled with them this last year, and I love every single one of them.
That's great. Okay, referee, stop the game. Just out of order. Okay.
Okay. I noticed they started doing that more often, or like someone was telling me where they stop and let them rotate.
Yeah, so now with 3 athletes, what the referee's going to be doing is he's going to be starting that low bib, starting Loretta each time, and the athletes are going to move together. Okay, 27, 26, 24. Okay, athlete stopped the game. She thought she hit it.
No hand was raised there. I was expecting one.
Yeah, no, Loretta spun around pretty quickly to look at the referees. I'm sorry, Loretta. Yeah, Loretta.
You don't see that very often unless there's something going on out there.
And when you're out there, you're the only one fighting for yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Last few shots of our second to last stage will determine our third place athlete.
We actually now have a tie for first. We have Aiko and Loretta. Aiko was able to pull
Good for
herself
her.
up.
Okay, so Loretta will go through to that gold medal.
Just could be by one or tied here.
Could be one, tied.
Looks like they'll
Does
be
it
going
get
into
any
a
better
tie.
than that? Going tied into the gold medal match,
Yeah,
29.
there we go. You
29.
can't make it up. I didn't read the script that way.
What a great set of targets by Aiko.
Yeah, out of her last 15, she's shot 13 of them, or hit 13 of them. Shot at all of them, but hit 13.
Okay, so we're going to have athletes on Station 2 and Station 6. How many
Let's
targets will he go through in this last
congratulate
pass?
the
Oops, here's Jack
bronze
Birch.
Ava Downs. Now 10 targets to the gold medal.
Very well done by Ava. Getting third, that's nothing easy.
Strong.
She's representing Hillsdale College very well. I'm very proud.
I didn't know she attended Hillsdale.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yep. She was 1 year below me. She's going into her junior year as I'm going into my senior.
Oh, my goodness.
So I've known her for 2 or a little bit over 2 years.
Okay, so the referee's invited Aiko up to Station 1. Loretta's going to lead us off. All right, one target advantage right now to Loretta.
For those of you that are just now tuning in, we've got the gold medal determining in the final, and Loretta right now is currently up by 1 target.
Loretta extending her lead to 2 targets. Boy, that target jumped 2-3 feet out of the way. All right, the butterflies, the adrenaline is real.
That's right. It could really get to you. You start thinking more about like the outside and everything instead of just what you need to focus on, your checklist, check all the boxes.
What can you control? The process.
Yep.
Can you control that outcome? No.
Wow, and you could see the dust
Darn
come
it.
off that target,
That
but it was no
dusted.
flash.
That was dusted. There was no orange flash. Okay, a little question or concern by Loretta. Engaging the referee. Current score is 32-29. Finishing our first pass. We got one more target in this first pass. But 10 targets will determine gold and silver.
Hits by both athletes, putting in 5 targets to go, with Loretta having a 3-target lead. And bib numbers do not take any effect at this point because it's for the gold medal. If they were to tie, they would go into a sudden death shoot-off.
Sudden death is in missing out.
Missing out, yes, sir. Would you like to explain how the shoot-off happens?
Yeah, so
if we get there?
fingers crossed we get ourselves a shoot-off. Each of these athletes would shoot at the same left-hand target on station 1, then shoot at the same right-hand target on station 2, left, right, left, until the winner is determined. Four targets to go. Two great athletes, but Aiko needs a little bit of help.
Yeah, the last pass just kind of hurt her a little bit to getting those chances getting up there.
Yeah, so it looks like Loretta's starting on the referee's call when he's saying start. Loretta got a little jumpy.
Oh, and dust there off that target as well.
Good eyes.
These lenses are great. I can see everything.
So Loretta's 9th target. Oh, that target jumped.
There is a chance for Aiko to come back and go into a shoot-off.
Yep.
Hit by Aiko, that's just what she needed. Now if we see a miss by Loretta and a hit by Aiko on these last targets, it'll go into a missing out.
Find ourselves in that shoot-off. Either way, what a great afternoon for USA Shooting and Hillsdale College.
And a miss by Loretta.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, a miss by Aiko.
There we go. Our finalist with the gold bib, first place Loretta Christian. Our silver, our second place will go to Aiko Colosso. And third to Hillsdale's own.
That's right, Ava Downs.
Good for her.
Love rooting for her. What a great final, though. I really thought we were going to get into a missing out.
Oh, I've got chicken skin thinking about the opportunity. So happy for the athletes.
You can't write the script any better.
No, so happy for the John A. Halter Center, what Hillsdale's built for us. Over our right shoulder here is a new facility for rifle pistol. But let's celebrate our podium.
And may I present the 2025 national champion, Loretta Christian.
Look at how big that smile is.
Oh, you love rooting for all of them. It was tough watching because I couldn't choose a favorite. I'd have to go with Ava, Hillsdale, but I want all of them to succeed, whether it be in shooting or in life. They're just great people.
Great travel team for USA Shooting. Each of these women will have their opportunities. Don that vest. Holding that equipment high. With the biggest ear-to-ear grins. Okay, as we wind down our women's final again, Loretta Christian, Aiko Colosso, and Ava Downs, your winners. We'll be back in just a few minutes at 4:45 for our men's final.
Yes, sir.
See you soon. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2025 USA Shooting National Championships for Trap. Coming to you live from the John A. Halter Shooting Sports Education Center at Hillsdale College in Hillsdale, Michigan. My name is Fran Jacobs. I'm here with Matthew Coots, one of our U.S. shooting trap athletes. Matthew's a recent graduate of Shriners University. We just saw an exciting women's trap final where Loretta Christian was crowned national champion. We're about to start the men's final, which will determine the 2025 men's national champion. The competition isn't just about national titles, it's also a selection match. The 2025 ISSF World Championship team will be decided at this match. The World Championships are taking place later this fall in Athens, Greece. In addition to the 2025 Junior Pan Am Games team was nominated through the scores of this match. The athletes being nominated for this year's team are Caleb Herenick, Tony Miola, Carrie Garrison, and Ava Downs. They'll be headed to Paraguay this August. And finally, 6 athletes will earn their spot on the USA Shooting National Team, with another 6 named to the Junior National Team. Jack Birch is bringing our six finalists to this year's men's national championship. We'll hand the mic over to him momentarily.
Maybe it'll work now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2025 USA Shooting National Championships Men Open Trap. With bib number 1, a 2024 Paris Olympian, Will Hinton. Bib number 2, qualifying with 233 targets, Jake Wallace. In third bib is a 2-time Olympian, last at the 2024 Paris Olympics, Derek Mine. With the number 4 bib, 5-time Olympian, 2028 Olympic champion, Glenn Eller. Was it 5? I got the bad intel. Somebody gave it to me. Bib number 5, 2019 junior champion, Jack Brousseau. And rounding out the field in bib number 6, qualifying with 224 targets, Tony Miola. Good luck, gentlemen.
Well, Jack Birch is...
And Rob is our referee in charge.
Jack Birch has broken any tension these men might have had announcing Mr. Glenn Ellers, our 2028
He's foreshadowing it.
national champion. Well, Matthew, thanks so much for sharing your time this afternoon.
Of course.
We've got an exciting afternoon.
We do. Thank you very much for having me. It's a very, very well-rounded lineup of shooters, all the way, from 2-time Olympians, 1-time Olympians, 5-time Olympians with Glenn Eller, to Tony Miola is a junior athlete. So it's a really well-rounded group of athletes here.
Some of these guys out here have been at this game for decades.
They have. The other day, after I shot one of my rounds, Derek congratulated me. It was a really good 24. Derek came and congratulated me, and he was saying, he's like, here in a little bit, you'll be, he's like, you'll be doing this as long as me one day, hopefully. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how long have you been doing this? And he's like, I just started I think he said like 28, 29 in shooting. And I'm like, I'm 21. So they have been at it for a while.
Yeah. And Glenn came over to the trap field from Double Trap.
He did.
Storied career, if I remember correctly, under Les Greevy in northeastern Pennsylvania.
I started shooting bunker in 2021 or 2020, excuse me. COVID year is really the first year I started shooting bunker, and so that was already 3 years past the double trap era, as I believe it was discontinued in 2017. So I never really get to experience watching double trap a whole lot. I mean, I watch it on YouTube sometimes on ISSF when I want to get a little motivated in shooting. But yeah, I never really got to experience the double trap hype.
Yeah, so as soon as double trap stopped being an Olympic game or being played in the Olympics, the U.S. made that decision to focus on international trap. So Matthew, talk to us about this first stage. What's going on here in this first 25 targets?
Yeah, so basically in the first 25 targets, the field is, basically just getting. First off, they're obviously going to try to get a feel for what's going on, a feel for themselves. But they're each shooting 25 targets, and then at the end of these 25 targets, whoever shoots the lowest score out of those targets is going to be eliminated. But you have to keep in mind those bib numbers. Of course, the bib numbers are very important. So the lower the bib number is, I guess you have a little bit more pressure on you to perform well in the final. So let's say Tony Miola, our 6 bib number in this final, ties with our number 5. Let's just say we don't even have to say number 1. Number 5, Jack Brousseau. Let's say they both shoot a 20, because Jack has a higher bib number based on how he finished in the qualifying rounds. Tony would automatically be bibbed out, he would be out of the final.
So for those new to bunker trap, new to Olympic trap, how did the athletes earn their bibs?
So they earn their bibs by how they finished in the qualifying rounds. So we shot 250 targets over the course of 4 days, and basically, however you finish, over the 250 targets is how you get your bib numbers. So Will obviously shot the best score, so he got bib 1, and so on down from 1 to 6.
And you're beginning to see these athletes shoot once at a station, then transition to their right. They shoot again, transition to their right. At each station, they're going to get 2 lefts, 2 rights, and a straightaway?
Yes, exactly. Every athlete's going to get 2 rights, 2 lefts, and a straightaway at every station. So they each shoot 5 shots at each station, so 5 times 5 is 25. It makes up the 25 targets that you get in a qualifying round, or in the first half of a final.
And again, after that, the first 25 targets, number 6 will be dropped.
Number 6 will be dropped.
The AMU, the Army Marksmanship Unit, came to play this week.
They always do. They always do. I mean, every single selection match I've ever been to in my 5 years of shooting this, I mean, there's always at least 2. There's always at least 2 AMU members in the final. They're the best of the best, really. So it's fun to compete against them. It's fun to get to know them, and sometimes try to pick their brain on what they know. I mean, they're obviously very intelligent athletes, and you got to respect them for also wanting to.
We got a huge gust of wind coming up to disturb Jake Wallace.
And it's been windy all week. It has been windy all week.
How does that affect your targets? As an athlete, Matt, how does that affect your targets?
It can affect them very, very, very. As you can see right there, I don't know. It's probably hard to pick up on the broadcast, but that target reached its climax and just went straight down. As soon as it got up, it just curved almost like it was on like a rainbow. That was so like that. I mean, it just depends on. It also depends on, because with the range facing north, you have a north. Well, let's say you have a north wind going into your face, and the way it's going to slow the targets down a little bit.
But these 3-meter targets are going to be 4 or 5-meter targets.
Yes, so it can change the way the targets come out, and that as an athlete, that may make you a little bit antsy. That may make you feel like you have to get on the targets faster because they're going all over the place. You want to get to them before the wind gets to them. But really, in all honesty, you have to keep to your game.
All right, so after our first pass, can you see those scores?
I can. So after the first 5, Will Hinton is straight with 5. Jake Wallace is down 2. He's at 3 out of 5. Derek Mine is down 1, 4 out of 5. Glenn Eller down 2, so he's at a 3 out of 5. Jack Brousseau missed his first out, but is now running it, so he is at a 4 out of 5. And Tony Miola dropped 2 in the first 5 for a 3.
So beginning their second pass, Will's still straight.
He is. Will has been on a tear. Obviously, he just made his first Olympic team last year in Paris. And ever since he made the World Cup teams for this year for the beginning half, and he won the World Cup in Lima. not that long ago, and I believe he got the bronze medal at the World Cup in Buenos Aires back in early April. So, and I mean, he came here first bib. I believe he shot a 120 and a 118. So that is strong, yeah, to say the least. That is very strong. Will's, he's a great guy. He's someone I look up to a lot. So.
How were the scores this week, maybe in comparison to different championships that you've experienced?
That's been a little bit of a talk for sure. The scores this week, I say, were lower than most. I remember I shot this week. I shot.
Is it the range? Is it the weather? Is it the pressure?
I think it's the. It's honestly
not to blame
a
the
little
weather.
weird. No, not to blame the weather. That's not an excuse
Something's
at all.
different.
I would say it's been windy, and also the visibility. I know the first 2 days it was dark, a little bit hazy, and then obviously yes, the wind doesn't help at all. So, but I've heard a lot of people say they think the lighting with the targets made a little bit of a glare on some of them. I know I struggled with that two of my rounds. I struggled with the glare, and I had to adjust my eyes a lot during the rounds. So, yeah, I would say this week's scores are definitely a little bit lower than what they have been. I think 6 bib here was a 224, and last year I shot a 225, and that wasn't even scraping the open final. So, yes, the scores here this year are definitely a little bit lower than what they have been in the past.
Yeah, there was a humidity, there was a haze.
There was
made
a
everything
haze.
white.
It did.
And the different lenses.
The lenses did play a big part in that, as they do all the time. But yes, it was making the targets almost like a light orange whitish color. It almost looked like a little tic tac was just flying
And a
through
white
the,
target against a white hazy background.
It was. So it was. Some of the days, mainly 2 of the days, the first 2 days were a little bit difficult. They were a little hazy. The targets were a little orangish white tint to it, and the white, obviously the sky, was a hazy color too. So it made it a little difficult for sure.
So again, those who might be newer to bunker, to Olympic trap, you're seeing these orange puffs of smoke, orange puffs of flash. What's the difference between dust and flash?
So basically with the flash, obviously, a flash is going to be whenever you hit a target pretty solidly. It's going to be just like a normal hit during a qualification round. You can see the paint from the flash target obviously fly out. It's an obvious hit. But then a dust is extremely hard to see during the qualification round because there's no paint in the target. But these flash targets that we're using here today, the white flyer flash targets that we're using here today, sometimes your shot, if it grazes the target, it puffs the paint a little bit. And in this case, that's considered a hit.
So if we see the orange flash, just an orange puff.
It can be an orange puff. It can be an orange puff off the target, and the target doesn't even have to break at all. But if a little bit of the paint just puffs a little bit, it's considered a hit in the finals.
But what if you see a little white dust?
A little white dust. I guess it might be up to I've experienced myself. It might be up to the discretion of the referees, what the referee thinks.
We've heard that dust don't count.
Yes.
Matthew, you familiar with some of the equipment, right, that these athletes might be using? I know there's
am.
some major manufacturers out there.
I am. From what I can see, Will Hinton is using a Krieghoff K80. Jake Wallace is using a Perazzi. I don't know exactly if it's MX8. I think it might be an MX2000. Derek Mine is using a Krieghoff. Glenn Eller is a longtime Perazzi shooter. Jack Brousseau is using a Krieghoff as well. And then Tony Miola, I believe, is using a Beretta. And you were mentioning the lenses and all this and how big that plays into part. And all the athletes, it looks like, are using... I believe all of them except Derek and Glenn are using Pilas. I believe Derek and Glenn Eller are both using Ranger glasses, and every other athlete are using Pilas.
Okay. Reds, purples.
It's all up to personal preference. It really all depends on what the what the shooter likes, what their eyes like the most. I don't know exactly the specifics, but I know different eye colors favor different colored lenses. I mean, I have brown eyes, and for me, I love oranges and reds. That's just really what I love. I started out liking purples when I started shooting, but over time, I don't know if my eyes matured. I don't know what it was, but now really just oranges and reds or what my eyes really like. And obviously, when it's dark, my eyes love a good yellow lens.
Okay, so starting our third pass, we got Will Hinton pulling away.
Yes, starting the third pass, so going into target 11 through 15, Will Hinton is at an 11. Jake Wallace is at a 9. Derek Mine is at an 8. Glenn Eller is at an 8 as well. Jack Brousseau, if he hits his target, which he does, is at a 10. And then Tony Miola, if he hits his target, will be at a 9. Which he does, so he is at a 9.
Are there any questions out there? I understand that there's a button for watchers to hit and ask questions. If there's time, we'll get to them. Helping us grow this game of Olympic Trap. Hit that like and share button at the bottom. So blessed to be at the Halter Center in Hillsdale, Michigan.
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
Matthew, talk to us what else is out here at this facility.
There's obviously Olympic Trap. We have the 5
bunkers,
bunkers,
skeet fields,
bunch of skeet fields, American Trap, American Skeet, International Skeet, amazing 5-stand. The 5-stand's heated, actually. I think they just built a heated indoor 5-stand facility not that long ago. Sporting Clays is beautiful. It's in the woods. It's in the wilderness.
So in the back of the screen that we're looking at is buried the Sporting Clays facility.
Yes. So if you're watching whenever the camera is out and looking right now, there's Sporting Clays courses, Sporting Clay stands, all in the distance, all in the very far back. This place is absolutely beautiful. I've loved coming here ever since they started using Hillsdale. In 2021, I believe, was the inaugural year for USA Shooting. It's a great partnership. I mean, the facility is amazing. Everyone who runs it is amazing. We never really have any issues. Yeah. It really is. It's a beautiful facility.
The team that set targets.
Yes, the team that set targets has done a great job
this week.
Yes. They probably would have been more beautiful if it wasn't so hazy out. But other than that, yes, the targets were great.
Wow, there might have been a dusted target. That target bounced to the right. And then kind of finishing this facility over our right-hand shoulder, we've got a rifle pistol complex.
Yes, I don't know. I think that's so new to me. I forget to just initially talk about that. But yes, the rifle and pistol range that you can see whenever the camera is to the left of the athletes, you can probably see in the background. It is. I cannot wait to see it finished. It is pretty big. It looks pretty big. But yes, it is that's going to be an amazing facility for the rifle and pistol athletes to use in the near future.
So we're finishing our third pass. These athletes still have butterflies? Is there an adrenaline running through their system?
There definitely is. I don't think that's a feeling that ever goes away, no matter how experienced you are in the game. I'm sure before every final, every competition round in qualification, all of these athletes get a little bit. I mean, I don't think you'd be human if you didn't. I think if you really love the game and if you really care about how you perform and how you do in a sport that you love and you dedicate so much of your time to, obviously you're going to go out there and you're going to be a little nervous, and that's perfectly okay. If you didn't have emotions, I'd honestly be a little scared. But yes, I believe every athlete here is. Yeah. Probably experiencing a little bit of butterflies at the beginning of the.
Okay, so we got a question on station 1 here. Will Hinton, Rob Klotz from Sacramento, California.
Okay, it looks like he's getting a crack at the target, but yes, as I was saying, yeah, every athlete's going to be a little nervous before they compete. It's normal.
Embrace the pressure.
Embrace the pressure.
Any shoot-off practice or tournament practice that you might put yourself through at home? competing with Shriner for many, many years. Where'd you
yeah.
practice at Shriner?
Would I practice at
Where?
Shriner?
Where?
Hill Country Shooting Sports Center. It's in Kerrville, I would say. It's up in the hills, as of, Hill Country, obviously. But that is where I trained for the last 4 years because I just graduated. So I am no longer there, but that's where I trained. Hill Country Shooting Sports Center has 5 bunkers as well. It's had selection matches, World Cups in the past there. Yeah. So that's
A great property, great challenge.
to say the least. If you want to experience the way that this game can humble you, make a trip to Kerrville, Texas to go shoot at Hill Country Shooting Sports Center. It is not an easy range by any means.
I think they've hosted 2 World Cups.
I think so. That was obviously when I was a little. That was
A few years
when
ago.
I was a little kid. As you can see, the wind's picked up, and the first 3 athletes have missed in a row. But Glenn Eller was able to pick up the target to break
These targets are jumping.
break the missing streak. The targets are jumping very much.
Boy, watching their body language, if I was just staring at the athlete, I would not know whether they hit or missed.
That's a good thing to see.
Watching just their body language, not seeing the
Yes.
result downrange.
Yes, just watching the body language is a big factor to see. I guess to see almost like the mental game. The mental game in this sport is obviously a topic of its own, and it can be talked about for hours. But being able to see the body language of an athlete when they miss and can almost tell a little bit about the mental game. Maybe can tell what's going on in their head. So let's say an athlete misses a target and they just eject the shell, turn to the right. They're ready to just go to the next station. They're probably running the process pretty good in their head. But if an athlete misses a target, you can obviously tell they're upset. They're throwing shells. They're looking around confused, don't know what's going on. The hamster's probably turning a little bit in the head. So yes, you can tell a lot by body language from an athlete.
And their process could be just repeating a word, repeating a cadence,
can be.
repeating a belief system.
It can be, without a doubt. Every athlete's different. Whether it's a cadence, whether, like you said, for me, I like to repeat to myself. Well, I have positive affirmations.
There
I
you
like
go.
to repeat to myself whenever I shoot. Whether it just be like filling your brain with
See the
anything
target,
positive.
see the target,
Filling
see the target.
f-
Head down,
filling
eyes
filling your
down.
brain with literally anything positive is a must. Whether that's hit this target, see this target, see the line. Those are great positive affirmations to have. But then also, I like to repeat music to myself sometimes. I am a big fan of music. So, okay, what's going on real quick?
What is going on?
I don't know. Looks like I believe
Somebody's questioning that last target.
Derek Mine questioned the last target, and I believe it did the puff.
It must have been the puff.
I did believe it did do the puff, and both the side referees saw it, and they told the head ref.
Hit target. So we're in that fourth pass right now.
We are in the fourth pass. We're about to end. Yes, I believe Will is at Station 5, so he's about to come around and start the last pass. Once he comes around, say the scores as the next 5 go on, as they will be ending the fourth pass. Will Hinton is at a 17 out of 20 as he misses his last target in his fourth pass. Jake Wallace hits the left-hand target to go to 16 out of 20. Derek Mine hits the right-hand target to go to a 15 out of 20. Glenn Eller hits his target as well to go to a 15 out of 20, as well as Derek Mine. Jack Rousseau hits his target to go to a 16 out of 20. And if Tony Miola hits his last target of the fourth pass, he will go to a 15 out of 20, which he unfortunately does not. So he will stay on a 14 out of 20 as we start this last pass.
So we got 117, 216s, 215s. Tony's on the bubble with a 14.
He is in
Okay.
his bib number 6 is not going to be helping him in this situation. So it's going to be very important for him to try to run this last pass to 5 and just see where the cards fall.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Franny, you were mentioning earlier that the viewers can drop questions, the Q&As, right? If
Yeah,
they, have any.
you're right. Yeah, there's a place to send us your questions. Again, if we've got time, we'd love to get one or two of them answered. Miola, he had an older brother who was with us for
Yes,
a few
Peter.
years.
Peter, I believe.
Yep.
He shot.
Shot many years under Marvin Spinks.
You know a little bit more about that than I do in that area.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing him. Marvin brought his team out here many, many years ago. 4 or 5 of them who traveled up from Florida. Marvin had been at the game for decades.
Mm-hmm. I believe Tony and Jack are both. I believe Tony and Jack are both from Florida.
Yep.
Go
Gators. Unless they're Knowles. Go Knowles.
I believe Will's from Georgia. I believe originally, even before he was in the Army, he's from Georgia.
From Georgia.
I know Jake originally is from California.
California.
Derek's Kansas.
Yep.
And then Glenn is Katy, Texas, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah. Not too far from where I live.
Okay, so we've got 3 more targets. And that athlete in the 6th place will be dropped.
Yes, will be dropped. And I know a lot of people kind of get confused, especially if you're new to this, get confused whenever they see a final versus qualification, because obviously in a final, you have that one shot instead of 2 that you have in the qualification.
Great reminder, right? So in the qualification, you've got full use of the gun. You've got 2 shots.
You do. You have 2 shots during qualification rounds. So let's say you miss a target with the first shot. Hopefully you have a nice tight choke and good follow through in the top barrel, because you can pick up that second target and hit it with the second shot and it will be a dead target. But in the final, gets a little bit more interesting as you only get one barrel to use, and you only get the single barrel to use. So it gets a little bit harder because you can't rely on that top barrel to pick up a target in case you miss it.
Okay. 2 more shots for each athlete. With targets that are thrown at 60 to 63 miles an hour, you'd think you'd see athletes really whipping their guns around.
Yeah, you would think so,
Trying
right?
to catch up to these really fast targets.
The thing is, this game is it can be so difficult at times, because this is one of the only games where you're going to get beat, clay target shooting games where you're going to get beat 100% of the time. The target's going to beat you every single time. And so you're going to have to rely on your mechanics, your eyes, to move the barrel on that line where the target comes out after the target's already cleared the bunker.
They look so smooth.
They do. But yes, you would think that because the targets are fast, that means you have to be fast. Not always the case. You want to be smooth, methodical with your move, and if you get a little too fast, let's say you move before the target even comes out, you can get too far in front of it. And let's say you're just super whippy whenever the target comes out. there's no telling where you could be behind it, you could be in front of it, you could be below it, you could be above it.
The next sound might be that honker.
Yes. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. The first 25 of this final is coming to a close. Will Hinton finished on a 21 out of 25, a great score in the windy conditions at the moment. Jake Wallace finished with a 19 out of 25. Derek Mine, excuse me, 20 out of 25. Glenn Eller, 19 out of 25. Jack Brousseau misses his last target to stay at a 19. And then Tony Miola looks like even if he hits this target, will be at a 19, but he does not. And he looks like Tony Miola will be our 6th place finisher this afternoon.
He'll be back.
He will be back. He shot amazing this week. But the thing is, even that bib number, because he's the 6th bib number, even if he did hit his last target, he would have been a 19. But none of the other 5 competitors above him finished below that. So no matter what, even if he hit his last target, because he had the lowest bib number, he would have been out regardless.
Okay.
Please congratulate our 6th place winner, Tony Miola. Leading is Will Hinton at 21, Derek Mine at 20, and we have a 3-way tie. Jake Wallace, Glenn Eller, and Jack Brousseau. 5 more targets.
So what Jack is saying, we've got 5 more targets, and then
5 more targets, and then the 5th place finisher will be determined. So now, instead of shooting a whole 25, after the first competitor is eliminated, after the first 25, then it just goes 5 targets. So after this 5, a 5th place finisher will be determined, and so on and so forth. Another 5 will determine 4th, another 5 will determine 3rd, but then whenever we get to the gold and silver, the bib numbers don't even matter. So it's the final 10 to make up the last 25 for a total of 50 targets. So basically the only way you get to shoot 50 targets in a final is if you make it to the gold and silver match, I would say, the gold and silver
target
placement.
jumped at least 3 feet out of the way. Big gust of wind's coming.
Yep. The wind will continue to play a factor in some of these targets, and it's frustrating.
It's swirling.
It is swirling. It's very frustrating at times because sometimes literally there are targets like you can't hit, or like you can, but if you miss it, it's like, well, it would have been an extremely hard target to hit.
I was on the target. I moved with the target. I connected with the target.
Followed the line perfectly, but then the wind pushed the target down into the ground, and it's like you can't really do anything about that. So it's just something you have to remind yourself in these weather conditions that you're probably going to drop some targets because of the weather, but that's one of those B factors you can't really do anything about. You just have to let it happen.
Outdoor sport.
Yes, outdoor sport. You gotta love it.
The silence is deafening
It is.
as each target becomes more and more important.
Yes.
You can see that
The nerves, definitely.
these last 5 guys are bunching up.
They are. And we were talking about nerves earlier. Obviously, you don't want your nerves to get the best of you, but obviously whenever you drop out of the first 25 and then, after everything, you don't have as many targets to make up. So if you're down a little bit and you only have 5 targets left, you're going to have to probably run the next 5 and see where the cards fall after that. So the nerves are going to be get a little bit more as time goes on.
So you've been in shoot-offs. Are you looking at the scoreboard?
No. Me personally, I would not be looking at the scoreboard. Any factor of looking up and seeing red by my name would not be something I want in my mind. So I like to have my head down. Even qualification rounds, I don't like to look at the scoreboard. I don't look at the scoreboard during the qualification rounds whenever they are happening.
If you're in a shoot-off, shoot management will find you. If you're going to progress through qualifications to the finals, shoot management will find you.
Yes, it will without a doubt. So if you had to say, Fran, who do you think coming into this? Who do you think the favorite would have been? Are we allowed to pick favorites? I don't think we're allowed. Not a favorite. Who do you think? If you had to put some.
That'll be a discussion for after we leave live.
Okay.
It'll be like an Ohio State broadcaster rooting for Ohio State football team. Can't do that.
You're right. I remember I commentated.
But looking at these athletes, I got to tell you, we got 5 left here. If you were to cut them out and make a silhouette, a shadow of them, they almost look identical. They almost look identical.
You know, things are going to start getting very interesting as the last.
Okay. 5th placed athlete has been determined, Mr. Glenn Eller. Family that's been around this game for a very long time.
A lot longer, probably longer. I know for a fact longer than I've been alive. I remember. Or is Jack going to announce it real quick?
Please congratulate our 5th place winner, Glenn Eller.
But I was just saying, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm
Still leading with 25 is Will Hinton. Jake Wallace and Derek Mine tied it at 24, and Jack Persoa to 23. 5 more targets.
But anyways, you know, as a athlete who is very passionate about this, sometimes I'll be hard on myself. But I have to remember, I think Glenn went to his first World Cup in the late 90s. I wasn't born until 2003, so I have to remind myself that
He's got a 20-year head start on you.
yes, he does. But it's so cool to see a lot of these veterans.
You know, earlier this week we had, you know, it's not uncommon that during our qualification rounds we've got the seniors, right, older than 55,
Yes.
who are coming back. We're still shooting quite well.
It's a really cool thing, and it's really cool that USA Shooting also has their own final. I believe after the first 125 targets, on the second day they have a final that's thrown. They get medals as well. It's really, really cool to see how everyone can get involved in shooting sport.
Yeah, they keep us coming back, right?
It's
So
super cool.
This year's senior champion was Gino Bortone.
He's so funny.
Another senior who's come back to the game, Terry Wenzel.
Yes, that was very
How
cool
neat
to see.
was that to see her? She
that's-
took bronze.
She did. That surprised me whenever I saw her in her because I thought it was her, but when I saw her in a vest and holding a gun and all, I was like,
Kind of out of uniform. She's
yes,
she's
I was
been a
like,
coach.
She has been a coach for the SCTP team.
Yes.
I believe SCTP
a feeder
international
program
teams.
into USA Shooting.
Yes, the feeder program into USA Shooting. Yes, sir. And seeing her in the vest and gun and all that shooting, I was like, this is out of the ordinary for me personally. So, but it was very cool to see her shoot and medal in the senior final.
The senior final.
Alrighty, well, we are about 2 targets away, once Jack fires a shot from determining our 4th place finisher. And 4th place is always such a bittersweet, I guess you can say, because you didn't come in last, you can say. You didn't come in 6th, you weren't the first out, you weren't 5th, but you were right on the cusp of getting a medal.
A target away from the podium.
Yes. So it's nothing to be upset about, but at the same time, obviously you want to be on the podium. You want to have a step on the podium. So we're going to determine who that is here in about a shot and a half, I guess you can say. So Will Hinton will shoot.
He'll go on to the next stage.
Will Hinton will 100% be going on to the next stage. So Will Hinton will be on the podium. Finishes with a 30 for the second pass. Jake Wallace gets a no target, so he will reset.
So he's talking to that microphone. What happened there?
Looks like the microphone didn't pick him. There could have been numerous things. The microphone didn't pick him up well. Maybe it didn't even go at all, or maybe the target broke in the bunker, because that does happen. It happened again. So I don't know if my eyes are as good as I think they are, but it doesn't look like the light's even going off. So maybe he just has to pick up his call. And I'm sure right here.
Short, crisp calls.
Yep. That call was louder than the last two.
Yep.
A little louder than the last two, and the mic picked that one up a little bit better. Jake Wallace finishes on a 28.
He'll go through.
Derek Mine also on a 28, so that means that Jack Brousseau, no matter if he hits his target or not, will be our 4th place finisher.
Okay, so our podium will be Will, Jake, and Derek.
It will be Will, Jake,
Please
and Derek.
congratulate the 4th place winner, Jack Brousseau. Will leads by 2 targets over Jake and Derek Mine, both of them at 28. 5 more targets to the bronze medal.
If my memory serves me correctly, this was the 2022 Open World Championship team. I was on the Junior World Championship team that year, and we went to Osijek, Croatia that year.
You've done some travel internationally.
I have
How
done
many
some
times?
traveling. 8 times. I've been overseas 8 times since 2022 was my first year I made a team. I've been to Germany twice. I've been to Croatia. I've been to Morocco twice with the Open team. I've been to South Korea, Lima, Peru, and Porpetto, Italy.
Quite a journey.
Quite a journey. I finished 3 targets out of the final this week. I had 2 rounds that didn't serve me too well, but I finished tied for 8th.
Okay.
And so nothing to be ashamed about. I know what I need to work on going back and training for the next selection match, and I set myself up very well for the next selection match to hopefully get on the national team come the next selection match.
I understand that there is a conversation bubbling up, potentially something going on this fall.
This fall,
Potentially.
there is something potentially going on this fall. We're gonna see how that goes.
Nothing final, but there's something beginning to bubble up.
Yes, we're gonna see exactly where that leads, but that'd be nice. I would enjoy that very much.
These 5 targets seem much faster.
They are going to seem faster as we are down to 3 athletes now, and they all happen to be by each other. So yes, these targets are going to go by pretty fast. These 5 are going to be over here about 1.5 minutes time, 2 minutes.
Will Hinton's on a tear.
He is on a tear. He missed his first out on the second 25, and so far he is clean. He is
12 straight?
12 straight.
So referee's letting Derek Mine circle around to station 1. And Mr. Klotz is going to start our 1 bib.
Oh, Derek thought it was Derek thought it was his turn whenever it was Jake's. He put up his gun.
Oh,
He was about to shoot. Yeah. So Derek has to hit this target to stay in.
Okay, 34, 31, 32. Our very last target. For the third place for the bronze.
So Will Hinton will be going forward
Yep.
automatically. He will be at a 34, which is still more than Jake and Derek. Great hit by Jake. He's at a 32, and Derek has to hit this target to stay in. Which he does. So he will finish on a 33, and Jake Wallace will be the bronze medalist finisher on a 32.
Jake, a strong athlete. He's been out here for, again, decades.
Yes, he is another athlete that has been around for a while.
Please congratulate the bronze medalist, Jake Wallace. 10 targets to decide gold and silver. Will leading with a 34. Derek right behind him with a 33.
10 targets to go.
And they are a target apart. So this is what makes it
Doesn't
interesting.
get any better.
It doesn't know. I'm glad it's
A shoot-off would make it better.
a shoot-off would make it better. But I'm glad that it's like this. Finals where they get to the last 10 and then they're like 4 or 5 targets apart. That's not very entertaining, I guess.
It could be more exciting.
It could be a lot more exciting. So it's a good thing that they were only in a target apart, because this can change in a heartbeat.
If we get to that shoot-off, it's a missing out.
It is a missing out. They would line up, and they would each shoot the same target on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so on. And they would keep coming back around until
One station at a time.
One station at a time, and they will take turns shooting the exact same target until someone misses and the other person hits.
All right, Will dropped his.
Yep. So if Derek hits his target, they will be tied. And they are now tied. So
Tie
yeah,
game, folks.
This is what makes it interesting.
$35-35. Single barrels. Think about it again from that perspective.
Yep.
And the stress. And the adrenaline.
I mean, this is so cool. I mean, there's 2 Olympians going at it right now.
Olympians, Derek Mine and his family, storied sporting family,
Yes.
ZZ family.
Basically everything clay shooting family. Anything that flies.
His
family.
father Rick.
Yes.
Rick
Big
Mine.
Halise guy, right?
Yes, ZZ Halise, correct.
Yes. Oh, and Will dropped another target. So if Derek hits this, Derek will take the lead.
Lead change.
Which he does, and the lead change. See, and this is what makes it
And
interesting.
it's quick.
Yes, look how quick the tables can turn.
Good.
And so after the first 5 out of 10,
Derek's now
Mine-
ahead by 1.
Derek is leading by 1, and now we go into the final 5 targets to determine the gold and silver. And if they have a tie at the end of this, then they will go into a missing out shoot-off.
Not just gold and silver, but your national champion.
National championship, yes.
Which would be an award that either of these gentlemen would be
Oh.
proud to carry.
And Derek Mine misses a target, so they're now tied again.
They're not tied again. Again, Will would bring that national championship back to the AMU. Derek would put that trophy next to the other 100 that he has
100.
at home.
500 trophies, whatever, however many that is.
Three targets to go. They're tied, 39.
And Will drops I believe that, I don't know if the straightaway on post 3 looks like a straightaway, but it's a little bit to the left. So
that 5 degree.
The 5 degree target that looks like it's a straightaway, or it is a straightaway, but it's a little deceiving because it angles to the left a little bit. So if your guys pick it up too fast, you'll overreact.
It's a 1.5 meter, 5 degree.
Yep.
Buckle that helmet.
Yep.
That target is moving.
So now the final 2 targets. This could determine our 2025 national champion. Will hits. He's up to a 40. Derek Mine is currently at a 40, so if he hits the target, he'll be at a 41 going into the last target, which he does. So Will just needs to hit this target and just see what happens.
One target at a time.
One target at a time. That is right.
Bring it, Will.
Will smacks
Here we go.
The target for a 41.
Last target.
And
there we
that is
go.
it.
Your 2025 national champion, Derek Mine. How exciting was that?
And it was a one target difference.
One target difference. Your silver medalist, Will Hinton. And your bronze, Jake Wallace. Let's watch these athletes come in as they get their pictures, raise that equipment. Couple high fives from friends and family. Big smiles, big ear-to-ear
Ladies
grins.
and gentlemen, may we present the medalist for the 2025 National Championships. Bronze medalist, Jake Wallace. Silver medalist, Will Hinton. And the 2025 National Champion, Derek Mine.
Well, on behalf of USA Shooting and Hillsdale College here at the John A. Halter Shooting Sports Education Center, Matthew, I want to thank you for sharing your time. What a great opportunity to talk about the game, develop the game, build the game. Again, your finishers, Derek Mine is our 2025 national champion. Will Hinton is our silver medalist, and Jake Wallace came in third.
I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on here and I guess speak a little bit of my knowledge about this game. Obviously, it's not as long as some of these other athletes, but I enjoy being able to talk about what I do know.
Yeah.
And I look forward to continuing to gain knowledge in the sport. It's very important to spread awareness about shooting sport and all it has to offer. So I appreciate everything that USA Shooting does, as well as the John A. Anthony Halter Shooting Sports Center out here in Hillsdale, Michigan. It's been a blast.
Well, it's our promise to bring you back. We'll do this again.
Hopefully I'm in the final next time.
But maybe not, exactly.
Yes.
So we don't want to see you back here.
Yes, I don't want to be back.
All right. Signing off. Have a great day.